Bringing this information to the public is the most important and challenging task humanity has ever been faced with. This time, what is at stake is our global survival, and it is a situation that we cannot allow to be ignored.
Here's what we can do to change the world right now to a better ride. Take all that money we spend on weapons and defense each year and instead spend it feeding, clothing, and educating the poor of the world, which it would many times over, not one human being excluded, and we can explore space together, both inner and outer, forever in peace.
The subject matter that has been presented to you in this film may at first seem overwhelming, and it is very likely difficult to come to terms with. It is important to understand that the information has not been presented in order to instill fear, but rather to raise an awareness of what is truly happening in our world. It is not the time for despair at this information, but rather it is an opportunity for new hope. But should we fail to act on this information, then the world that we are allowing to be created for our children may well be a world that would not be worth living in. The reality is that this world does not have to be this way at all. It does not have to be heading in the direction it is heading. People do not have to live in a never-ending sea of self-generating debt. Wars do not have to be fought. And children do not have to starve. This has been unfolding for many, many years, but the people are kept distracted by design, so for the most part they haven't yet noticed. Whatever your perception of this reality is, you need to understand that a clear and present situation exists on this planet. It is happening right now, and it requires your urgent attention. Can you see how this has been done? Can you see the reality that we have been collectively taught as whole societies to ignore everything around us and to focus our attentions on the collecting of as much money as possible from either working for or profiting from another human being, and then to use it to buy as many baubles and trinkets as we can in order to gain more status in our society. And we have been convinced by television that such pursuits are actually the meaning of life. The ruling elite understand this, and they know that if you can control the emotions and the beliefs of enough of the population, you can control the entire species and quite literally create whatever reality you desire. And they have used our energy to create the world we now inhabit. The key to addressing this situation is to understand your own potential and to understand the true nature of energy. This is truly how it works. The situation we are now facing has occurred simply because most people are unaware of the facts. For the only information most people receive is what they are told by their newspapers or by television. And you can rest assured that the mainstream media will never inform people as to the real facts surrounding any of these issues, or make people aware that a matter may even be up for debate. So we very much recommend that you distribute this information to as many people as you are able, because the time for talk really is over. What is truly needed at this time is for the good people of the world to act, and to act now. Indeed, it is up to all of us to spread the truth. And you need not be afraid or feel alone in doing so, because a new awareness is growing among the people. This awakening is far more powerful than any system on earth, and more people are waking up every day. Those who are awakening are spreading the word, as we all should do, as often and as loudly as we can. The masses who are still unaware of the truth really must be woken up to what is occurring. It is potentially the most important issue humanity has ever faced. Ignore corrupt legislation, such as the introduction of Codex Alimentarius. Go out of your way to grow organic gardens and encourage others to do the same. Understand that it is our birthright to have healthy food, fresh water, and clean air. And this birthright must be protected at all costs. Such legislation infringes upon this birthright. Therefore, it is void. It is no law, and it is entitled to no obedience. It's very important for people to realize that it is we, the people, who are sovereign. The only power that government actually has over us is the power that we ourselves grant to them. Understand the power of yourself and the power of your community. It is the power of a unified population that the elite most fear, because such a population cannot be so easily controlled. They know this, and they know that were the people of the world ever to unite, the entire system of control would come crashing down like a house of cards. It is very important that your mind be clear in order to address these issues. I implore you to avoid toxic substances such as heavily processed foods, diet soft drinks, aspartame, artificial sweeteners, and fluoride, and to drink only water that you know is fresh. And turn your TV off, and leave it off. After even a month of no TV, you will be surprised at how much better and how much healthier you feel. And get back in touch with nature. We have now reached a turning point in history. The veil of secrecy that has always surrounded the system by which this world is run is now at last being lifted. Now is the time for the people of the world to look after each other and not the system. It really is that simple. It's time for each of us to realize our true potential as human beings. It's time to forget the imaginary restraints and limitations that have been placed before us by institutionalized teachings, and to look at the whole spectrum. Realize the divisions that supposedly exist between us are an illusion. Look behind it to the real world. For it matters not who you are, what country you are in, or where you are from. It makes no difference whether you are black or white or Christian or Muslim or Jew. It makes no difference at all what your beliefs are, because we are all people and we are all one. The reality is that this situation is a global one, and it affects each of us equally.